That's to be manipulated. So what's the first manipulation? Give me my hero. Now I'm young. I'm like 14 now. We talked about the teenager. So they gave me a hero. Who was it? You can guess. For a guy like me, I'm in the urban area. Who did they give me? Who knows?
Superman?
No. I'm already aware that there's some differences in my country based upon skin. So who did they give me? Right. They gave me him. Malcolm X. They gave me him. He's slender. He's tall. He's slender. He's tall. He's light skinned. Interesting. They gave me him. And he has a background in which he could have been something, but he wasn't that. So that he drifted off into the, criminality. Everybody familiar with the story? How many people are familiar with it? How many people are familiar with the story? Hey, now. And why are we familiar? Because it gets told again and again and again. And so now, instead of going to university, he has to do what now? He goes to jail. But jail for him is not prison for being a criminal, and that's what it was. It is now an awakening. It is now something which awakens his soul. He gets his reality. He gets what? Now it's known, we call this what? A passage of manhood. A passage of, The rites of passage. The rites of passage are in jail. Isn't that what you get from the story? You memorize the dictionary from A to Z, and you come out, and now you're a better man, and now you can face the world. Was there anybody who thought that was real? That that's how life should go for him when he's already free? Well, I did. And many other men did too. It was engineered that way. Engineered. That I would feel that. And inside of me, there'd be an alternative now to the way regular people go down the path of life, and I would take on this characteristic and take an unnecessary step, which is victimizing other people. I didn't do it with alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved me from it. But you had to go to jail, you had to victimize somebody else and go to jail. They engineered it so that I would feel it. And think that in a prison, things would be okay. It's a con. Understand? Here's what I say, con. It's a con. Everybody understand the word? It's a con. It's a trick. To trick certain people away from regular progress in their life. And for them to lose what we were talking to these young boys about yesterday, to lose their shabab under and in prison. It's a trick. Now, you ought to be aware of this, too, because you are here, and you are in the environment. And how many people, I've come here the last time, somebody said that we want to give dawah. Is that, you told me that, right? Who wants to give dawah here? To the people who we live around, the neighbors. Who wants to give dawah? That's all? No, we don't. I didn't see it. I didn't see the hand. I didn't see the commitment. I asked who? Okay. Then the asul of da'wah are the following. First one is a da'wah. It itself, the subject of it, is al-Islam. That you have to have knowledge about the religion. And the first part of the call has to be to at-tawheed. But whoever wants to do this, we cannot call to anything else. Not skin, you can't call to culture, you can't call to language except the Arabic language, you cannot call to anything else except the oneness of Allah Azza wa Jal. And why is that? Because your shahada says, you testify, there's no deity worthy of worship except Allah Azza wa Jal in truth, bilhaq, and that, what? Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is his messenger. So you have to use his method. If his method is not used, his methodology of da'wah, which has already been successful, which didn't take the lives of many millions of people when he was doing it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which called people from diverse, to this very day, from diverse backgrounds, including somebody from Brooklyn, to the religion, you cannot, because you will not be more successful than him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You will not be. You cannot be. Nothing comes ahead of it. And so we see Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he's in prison now. Was he innocent or guilty? Innocent. Was he wronged or not? Wronged. But what does he do while he's in prison with his two companions? What does he call them to? Does he start complaining about the qadr of Allah Azza wa Jal, how it came down upon him and he's been put in prison innocently? No, he says what? He starts to tell them that he left people who were mushriks. And he starts to call them to what? To the tawheed of Allah. These two. Even before asking his own need, he calls them to the tawheed. Verse, he says. Anybody? That verse from Surah Yusuf. All I remember is in the end, he said, hold on.
The ayat, I'm not sure yet. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, one day.
One day, barakallah. This is Surah Yusuf. Hold on. In the?
I didn't memorize the whole verse.
All right. But if you go to, but keep it in mind. Keep it in mind, because you don't meet people who have been engineered, pushed into a complaining mindset. Not just blacks. Not just black people. Into a complaining mindset. Complaining about everything. And that is because that we're pushed that way. Rather than live in the society and contribute to it, pushed to the outside in the head and in the heart. You will never be anything here. You will not be able to achieve here. Is that true? Is it true? You know it's not true. Is it true? Is that true to say to someone they could never make it? Back to the Malcolm X story, he said he was sitting in the classroom, he wanted to be a lawyer, and the teacher said, why don't you say something else? You're not going to be a lawyer. You can't do that. To let people know that this is what they should go through. It isn't true. With the proper tarbiyah in your households, no matter who the father is, if he gives his child the proper tarbiyah, and he spends time and he promotes the love of Allah and his messenger in his household, and he promotes the love of the Quran in his household, and he asks Allah to help him, that's what he will get. And anything else is not husn al-dhanni billah. Is not assuming the best of Allah. Is not believing that Allah will help one. He has to have husn al-dhanni billah and purify himself away from those slights and those misideas about skin. Yesterday, I was sitting inside the rest area on the highway coming here, waiting for my family to come out. There was a man standing in the middle of the rest area with a red hat on and a red warmer, red hoodie. He drank his drink standing up, and I was sitting there looking at him, and then he saw me, and he came to me. Written on his shirt, on his hoodie, this actually happened, was H-A-L-L-A. Hala. He said, Assalamu alaikum. I said, reluctantly, wa alaikum salam. I had a choice, but I didn't know who he was. He had his hand in his dip, if you know what that means. He had his hand down in his hoodie. So I said, wa alaikum salam. Look at his hala. He said, how long have you been Muslim? I said, about 30 years. He said, I've been Muslim all my life. He said, see here? Hala. What is hala? Now I know hala. Hala bina. I know that. I know this. This is what. Come on, let's go. How's it going? No, it was Allah. The English transliteration, Allah spelt backwards, and he can only see it in the correct form if he's facing the mirror. I said, Subhanallah. I thought I'd seen everything. He said, yeah, it's Allah. See, and then he turned to the mirror. So of course my mind is saying, get away from him, he's a nut. What can I say? My heart and my mind is saying, this is a nut, and I ask Allah's protection from him. And as soon as I can get my people and get away from him, or he gets away from him, And then you make the dua, Alhamdulillah, الذي عافاني مما ابتلاك به وفضلني على كثير ممن خلق تفضيلا. You know this dua? Alhamdulillah, الذي عافاني مما ابتلاك به. I praise be to Allah who has freed me from the trial you're going through and has preferred me over many things He has created with a preference. Here again, appreciation for having this land. The appreciation for having the religion. So he said, you know, you have to call them in one by one. You have to save the brothers and sisters one by one. I see. Please get away from me. But here again, he thought he was a da'i. He thought he was calling. And this is probably part of our difficulty today. A lot of people have come out of the woodwork because some reason, wherever they are, the message is not so strong and so clear that many people understand it. You have people, they get this space where they can walk in and say anything they want to say. And it's our job. In great big groups and big gatherings, yeah. How? One by one. One by one. Sheikh Saleh al-Sheikh said, he said, the one-on-one da'wah is still the strongest. You know someone, he's at the job, you call him to the religion. You call him with hikmah. You call him to the oneness of Allah. He wants to talk about Fulan and Fulan. You don't talk about that. Let's talk about the one who created you and created me. Do you know what his rights are? Have you ever asked a non-Muslim, does he know the rights of God? You ever asked him that? Ask him. You know he doesn't know? Of course he doesn't know. Of course he doesn't know. He's even surprised. He's even surprised that the Creator has rights. What does he need rights for? It's his right. And you know what we're caught up in the rights of human beings over the rights of the Creator. We're caught up in the complaining environment, the rights of human beings. And Sheikh Fawzan said, we're even going to the people and asking them and demanding our rights from the people without even giving our lives without his rights. Meaning the world environment today is people are demanding rights of the creation. Give me my rights, give me my rights, give me my rights. And not fulfilling, perhaps, the right of their Creator. Now, this is a mistake, barakallahu feekum. So, I'm thinking as a young man, maybe I should get locked up. Does that sound crazy? Does that sound crazy? Maybe I should get locked up. And when I get locked up, I can get a dictionary. And I can memorize from A to Z. Not the Quran. Memorize dictionary from A to Z. And so what? Now I know. And I come out. The next step is to do what? Is to join an organization that promotes skin. And that man is God. Is that what happened to him? That's what happened to him. Is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
I don't have sympathy.
You don't like them?
I don't carry them.
You don't carry them? Okay.
Nuisance.
They're a nuisance? All right. I feel bad. And then I should do what? Promote that man is God, wal'adu billah. I was already a Christian, and they were already doing what? Promoting that man is God. Now I'm a choice of else to promote that man is God. Not just any man, but the black man is God. The height of insult. The height of ignorance. The height of arrogance. I should do that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected me from it. I never did it, alhamdulillah. But I say to you that there are many people you're going to run into who went over these hurdles. Who were pushed, eased, gradually, step by step, away from the ummah, saying that the Arabic language was not a good language, saying they shouldn't learn it, that knowledge is not important, that knowledge is not what's going to help you, that having material wealth is what's going to help you, that's the only thing that's going to help you, pushed into this kind of a thing. Or that who needs material wealth? People who are wealthy are dirty. You know that's an attitude? Did you know that? You ever heard the term filthy rich? Who's heard the term filthy rich? Who's heard it? Let's see who's heard it. Everybody's heard it. Filthy rich. Who was the richest man who ever lived? Huh? Did you say Don King? Who'd you say?
I said I didn't care.
You didn't care. Well, in this case, you might want to care. It was Sulaiman. It was Sulaiman, alayhi salatu wasalam. Huh?
His name is Sulaiman.
His name Sulaiman. You didn't know that he was the wealthiest man that ever lived? You didn't know?
Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam.
Huh?
Prophet Sulaiman.
Prophet Sulaiman. Did I say alayhi salam?